You know what makes me angry? You know what makes me angry? I've spent hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars at mechanics over the years. Oil changes, tune-ups, diagnostic fees, just to tell me something I could have figured out myself with a quick Google search. And every single time, I walk out of that shop feeling like I just got played. But a few months back, a retired mechanic, a guy who worked in auto shops for over 30 years, pulled me aside and told me something that stopped me cold. He said, "The stuff that actually keeps a car running smooth, it costs almost nothing. That's exactly why we never talk about it. $2. That's all this costs. $2 in about 10 minutes of your time. And you can fix something that most drivers don't even know is slowly killing their car's performance, quietly, invisibly, every single time they turn the key. Mechanics know about this. They just really, really hope you don't. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're never going to look at your car the same way again." Here's the thing about modern cars. They're complicated on purpose. Manufacturers and dealerships have spent decades making sure the average driver feels completely helpless the moment a dashboard light flickers on. And it works. The average American spends over $1,000 a year on vehicle maintenance and repairs. A huge chunk of that, completely avoidable. But here's what they don't advertise. Most car performance problems, sluggish acceleration, rough idling, poor fuel economy, that faint knocking sound you've been ignoring, they don't come from blown engines or failed transmissions. They come from buildup. Slow, invisible buildup in places most drivers never think to check. Carbon deposits in the intake valves, moisture and sediment in the fuel system, gunk clogging up the throttle body. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in over thousands of miles, and by the time you notice something's wrong, a mechanic is already quoting you $300 to $600 to flush the system or clean the injectors. And you pay it, because what else are you going to do? What if I told you there's a $2 fix sitting on the shelf at your local dollar store right now that does almost the exact same thing? Back in the early days of the automobile, we're talking 1920s, 1930s, cars were simple machines, no computers, no sensors, no dealership software required to reset a throttle calibration. Mechanics back then were problem solvers. They worked with what they had, and what they had was usually not much. There's a well-documented tradition among Depression-era drivers of adding a small amount of acetone to their fuel tanks. Acetone, the same stuff in nail polish remover. They figured out that it helped fuel burn cleaner and more completely, which meant better mileage and a smoother running engine. This wasn't some backyard myth. It was practical chemistry that everyday people discovered out of necessity. Over time, as the petroleum and automotive industries grew into the massive machines they are today, this kind of folk knowledge got quietly buried. Why teach drivers to maintain their own cars for $2 when you can sell them a $40 bottle of branded fuel system cleaner? Or better yet, charge them $200 at the shop? The retired mechanic who told me about this hack learned it from his own father, who learned it during the post-war era when gasoline quality was inconsistent and drivers had to get creative. It never disappeared. It just stopped being talked about publicly. All right, let's get into it. Here's exactly what you need, where to get it, and how to use it. Step by step. What you need is pure acetone, not nail polish remover with added moisturizers or fragrances, pure acetone. You can find this at dollar stores, Walmart, or any hardware store. A small bottle runs you about $1 to $2. That's your entire investment. Here's the key part most people miss, the ratio. You do not dump a bunch of this into your tank and hope for the best. The correct ratio is approximately 2 to 3 ounces of pure acetone per 10 gallons of gasoline. That's it, a tiny amount. More is not better here. Exceeding the recommended amount can actually dry out certain rubber seals in older vehicles, so less is more. So before you fuel up, pour your measured amount of acetone into the tank first, then fill up with gasoline as normal. The fuel going in will mix it thoroughly. You don't need to shake anything or add anything else. Just drive normally. What's happening inside your engine right now? Acetone is a powerful solvent. It reduces the surface tension of gasoline molecules, which allows the fuel to atomize, break into finer particles, more efficiently inside the combustion chamber. When fuel atomizes better, it burns more completely. When it burns more completely, you get more energy out of every drop of fuel, less unburned residue building up on your intake valves, and fewer carbon deposits forming over time. Think of it this way. Imagine trying to light a thick log on fire versus a pile of wood shavings. Same material, but one ignites far more efficiently because there's more surface area exposed. Acetone does that with your fuel at a microscopic level. Now here's the second part of this hack, and this is where the $2 really starts doing serious work. Grab a can of Throttle body cleaner. This one you'll find at any auto parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly, Napa, for about $5 to $7. But check online or look for store brand versions, and you can often find it closer to $3 to $4. Combined with your acetone, you're still well under $10 total. The throttle body is the valve that controls how much air flows into your engine. Over time, it gets coated with a sticky residue, oil vapor, carbon, dust, that builds up around the edges of the valve plate and the walls of the housing. This buildup restricts airflow. Restricted airflow means your engine has to work harder to pull in what it needs, which translates directly into reduced power and worse fuel economy. Here's how to clean it. First, locate your throttle body. On most modern cars, it's connected to the large air intake hose that runs from your air filter box to your engine. It looks like a round metal housing with a visible valve plate inside. If you're not sure, a quick YouTube search for your specific make and model will show you exactly where it is. It takes about 30 seconds. Turn off your car. Remove the air intake hose from the throttle body, usually held on by a clamp you can loosen with a simple screwdriver. With the hose removed, you'll see the inside of the throttle body. Spray your throttle body cleaner inside, coating the valve plate and the housing walls. Use a clean rag or a soft bristled brush to gently work the cleaner into the carbon deposits. You'll see dark, gunky residue start coming off immediately. Wipe it away, spray again. Repeat until the surfaces are clean and the metal looks bright. Reattach the air intake hose, tighten the clamp, and start your car. It may idle a little rough for the first 30 to 60 seconds while the system recalibrates. That's completely normal. Let it settle. Warning, do not spray throttle body cleaner on sensors, wiring, or rubber gaskets if you can avoid it. It's a strong solvent and can damage certain materials. Stick to the metal housing and valve plate. One more piece. If your car has been running rough, check your air filter while you're in there. It's literally right there in the box the intake hose connects to. Pop it open. If your air filter looks dark gray or brown and you can't remember the last time you changed it, a new one costs $10 to $20 and takes about 2 minutes to swap out. A clogged air filter is one of the single most common causes of sluggish performance and reduced fuel economy, and most drivers go years without touching it. So here's what you can realistically expect. Start with the throttle body clean first, because the results there are almost immediate. Most drivers notice the difference within the first drive. The throttle feels more responsive, the idle smooths out, and in some cases, acceleration feels noticeably crisper. The acetone in your fuel tank works over a longer timeline. You're looking at 1 to 2 full tanks before you see the real benefit as it gradually cleans the intake system from the inside. Pay attention to your mileage. Track what you're getting per tank right now. Add the acetone at your next fill-up and compare over the next 2 or 3 tanks. Many drivers report a 2 to 4 mile per gallon improvement with a clean throttle body and the acetone treatment combined. I tested this on a 2009 sedan that had been idling rough for months. The mechanic quoted $340 for a fuel system service and throttle body cleaning. I spent $8, did it myself in my driveway in about 20 minutes, and the idle issue was gone the same day. Mileage went from 26 to just under 29 miles per gallon over the next 2 tanks. Could individual results vary? Of course. Older vehicles with more serious issues may need additional attention. But as a baseline tune-up for any car that's never had this done, the results are almost always worth the 10 minutes it takes. Here's your bonus tip, and this one's free. Literally costs nothing. Check your tire pressure. Right now, most people are driving around underinflated and they have no idea. Underinflated tires create more rolling resistance, which means your engine has to work harder to maintain speed. This directly reduces your fuel economy. Studies show that tires just 5 psi below the recommended level can reduce your mileage by up to 2%. Across a full year of driving, that adds up to real money. Your recommended tire pressure is printed on a sticker inside your driver's side door jamb. Not on the tire itself, that's the maximum pressure, not the target. A tire gauge costs about $2 at any dollar store. Check all 4 tires cold, meaning before you've driven on them. Add air at any gas station, usually free or 25 cents, and you've just improved your fuel economy without spending a single extra dollar. Simple, free, and almost nobody does it consistently. If you made it this far, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried the acetone trick? Or did you just hear about it for the first time today? Drop it in the comments. And if you've got a mechanic story, a time you got quoted something ridiculous and later found out it was a simple fix, share it down below. Those comments are always the most interesting ones on this channel. If this saved you money or taught you something new, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than most people realize. And if you're not subscribed yet, now is a great time. Because next week, we're talking about another $2 household item that most people throw away without realizing it can eliminate one of the most annoying and expensive problems homeowners deal with every spring. You don't want to miss that one. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, the most expensive solution is almost never the only one.